Okay, and welcome to another Entertainer Spotlight on Non-Stop Kids Entertainment. And today I am really happy that I have got a living legend with Non-Stop Kids Entertainment. No, you really are. I've got Jess Rowe, who is amazing. You have been with us pretty much from day one. Pretty much.
I was thinking about this the other day, actually. I was like, when was this? And I think it was like 2015, wasn't it? I think it's been almost like 5 years now or something.
And it was very close to the beginning. I know that we had people like Belle there, and I think Tiffany was here when you came on board, maybe. But you've been here from the very, you were here when, like, we were running this whole company from the bottom of my garden. Like, that's...
I remember training in your little training cave thing
that
you've got in your garden.
Yeah. And yeah, I mean, wow. And I remember when you were working at Warwick Castle, I think, at the same time.
Yes, that's right. Well, before that, I was working at, I've gone around all the theme parks, but I was working at Drayton Manor at the time, and I was a ride operator, and I was like, I'm not sure this is what I want to do. And then I saw the Warwick Castle job, and I was like, great. And then actually the whole reason how I got involved with Non-Stop Kids is because you did a networking event for a colleague of my mum's, and then she came back and she went, I've got the perfect job for Jess. I know exactly what she can do. And then it just went from there then, didn't it? Had a little phone call, and then 5 years has gone by.
And I want to talk to you all about what you do and your journey and where it is that you got like the bug for entertaining and performing. But I think one thing that I want to make clear to everyone that's watching this is you are phenomenal. There's certain people in this company, and we know that if we need a job doing well, we give them that job, and you're like ahead and above everybody else in there. You are the consummate professional. Everyone loves it. No, it's true. And for those of you that aren't watching, with the princess party, I'll give you a perfect example. The reason the princess in the princess party is called Princess Jessica is because it was named after you, because you were the one that basically created the whole package, you know. So you know, you're amazing.
At Alton Towers, we had that little story, and we made it interactive, and then we took it to Alton Towers, and we did like Princess Academy there, didn't we? And then it kind of...
Yeah, and I was doing a pirate thing at the same time, I think, and you were doing Princess, and I was doing pirates, and yeah, it was super fun. And I'm always glad when I ring you up and say, hey, can you do this gig for me? And you go, yes, because, and we will talk about this, but you are one of the busiest people I know. And you really are. And the fact that 5 years later, you still find time to come and work with Non-Stop Kids and do parties for us, it means the world to me, because I know you have so much going on. And the fact that you've stayed with us all this time, it really does mean the world to me, honestly. Really, I'm gushing now. I shouldn't be gushing.
Well, no, it means the world to me as well. Like, you've been fantastic support for 5 years, and, you know, like, it's helped me. Non-Stop Kids has really helped me grow as an entertainer and confidence and my performance style, and it really doing it regularly, and obviously you do the same show all the time, you get to be really good at certain things, and then you test other stuff and you go, well, maybe I'm not so good at that, but you can really fine-tune your craft for doing something for so long and things like that. So it's always constantly improving me as a performer and my ways of like working with children and families and things like that. So it's fabulous.
Oh, it's amazing. But let's talk about how you got interested in performing. So you talked about how you were working at Drayton Manor, but I'm sure you got interested in performing a lot before that. Is that where did you decide you were interested in this sort of thing?
So when I was really little, I think mum started me with like dance classes at like the age of 5, I think it was, and I was doing that a long time till I decided I need a job and want some money. So I stopped around like 16 to get a part-time job in a supermarket, and then when that stopped, I was like, I still miss the kind of performing element. I still want to do something. And then it was when was it? When I was doing my A-levels. I did really sensible GCSEs, but in the back of my mind, I was like, I always wanted to do performing arts, and I always wanted to do drama and things like that. And I was like, well, if I do well enough in my GCSEs, I'll maybe do a drama A-level, which I was fortunate to do. So I kind of did my drama A-level, and then I got a bit more confident with like a bit of singing, and then obviously I went to university after that and did at Coventry University, and did a theatre and professional practice course, which was just 3 years of creating work and performing and meeting incredible people. And then whilst I was there, I was like, yeah, I'd like, you know, when sometimes you go to university or some people go, I really don't know what I want to do with my life. I kind of got to university and went, no, yeah, I think this is the choice that I made, and I'm glad I made this choice.
Absolutely.
Because I can't think of anything else. And then, yeah, it's just, I don't know. From then, it's just creating work and meeting new people and finding every opportunity to perform. Really, it's just like, yes, give it to me. I'll do it. So yeah, it's been a long haul, I guess.
And a couple of years ago, you got made the director of the Fabularium, didn't you?
Yeah. So
tell us all about the Fabularium, how you became the director, and what you do there, and you know, tell people all about how to find it and so on and so forth.
Yeah, sure. So the Fabularium is a theatre company, an outdoor theatre company based in Coventry, and it's actually been going 10 years now. Not as an official limited company, but it did start as a kind of like a graduate concept where all the graduates from Coventry University kind of stayed behind in the summer, and we did this massive parade around the town, and we performed songs and acrobatic routines and things like that. So that happened from like 2010 to 2014, 15. And then my other company managers, Gareth and Josh, kind of took it over to run as a limited company. And during that time, I performed with them in their shows and walkabouts. And then, is it 2 or 3 years ago now? I think it's 2 years ago. They then asked me to become company manager as well with them. So that was really lovely. So now I manage that company, and we perform internationally and create shows. Yeah.
So where can people see you? Say you perform outside, where can people go and find you?
Well, we do a range of things actually. We perform at like festivals. So we've performed at Kendal Calling Festival, if anybody knows that. Lots of family festivals. What else have we done? We do indoor stuff as well, but the best place to find us, we're doing a lot of online content at the moment because obviously stuff. But you can check us out at the Fabularium across all of our social medias. I'll spell it just in case because it's a bit of a weird word. So it's Fabularium, and I believe the origins of that word come from fabulous and in emporium. So you mush them together and you get Fabularium.
Perfect.
But yeah, keep an eye on that. Keep an eye on our Facebook and our...
What sort of stuff are you doing online at the moment?
We're actually going to...
I know you had some great stuff going on with music videos and so on and so forth.
Yes, we created a little... That's coming out this week, actually. We've created a little music video with one of our songs. But at the moment, we've just received some funding to create some audio books of our stories. So I set up a recording booth in my wardrobe yesterday and was recording some short stories for that. So they'll be going on the line as well. And we've got a website, which is www.fabularium.co.uk. So if you want to check anything out, that's also a good place to go.
That's brilliant.
Yeah.
And now, when are you hoping to go back on the road with the Fabularium, so to speak? I mean, I imagine, because I don't really have anything to do with this sort of thing, but I imagine that you had events scheduled throughout 2020 that you've had to like knock on the head at least over the last few months. Are you hoping to get out in the summer? Are you hoping to get out towards the end of the year?
Yeah, we are hoping. We're keeping everything crossed. There's one festival that we're really, really holding on to, which is at the end of August, which would really be our last performance of the year. But we are hoping to maybe do some live streaming. So if it's possible, we might meet up, me, Gareth and Josh, and set up all our sets and set up a camera, and we'll do a live performance through a live stream situation. So that means obviously people can stay at home, or they can do like an outdoor cinema kind of thing where you can get people in a bigger park and put it up on a big screen. But yeah, the important thing about outdoor theatre is it's going to be one of the first entertainment kind of things to come back, because theatres and the like are not going to be opening for a long time. So we kind of have to be pioneers of entertainment, being outdoor theatre makers, and go, right, how do we it might not be performing to many people, but we could still perform outside, and the logistics of that, and how do we change what we usually do. So yeah,
it's going to be you guys that lead from the front when it comes to that side of things. Absolutely.
Hopefully that's the idea anyway. But yeah, we've got some bits and bobs online to go with, but yeah, we're not sure, because obviously by the time maybe thick restrictions slow down, it's going to be autumn, and that means rain and cold.
Mm-hmm.
So, which obviously have its own problems. So we'll see.
Now, outside of the Fabularium and Non-Stop Kids, you do an awful lot of other stuff as well. Like, I know you work with Clem, Rubbish Shakespeare Company, right?
The One Day Creative,
One Day Creative
teaching that he does. Yeah, so I'm a drama and dance facilitator for One Day Creative, which kind of go into schools and turn the curriculum into performing arts, basically. So we'll go in and do subjects like, I've done things like Florence Nightingale and volcanoes, and it's all turning it into drama and dance related to enhance their learning, really.
That's amazing.
It's pretty cool, actually. It makes you learn a lot more stuff as well. So when I first started, I was like, oh, Florence Nightingale, I'm going to have to do some research about that, because I can't remember the last time I did a lot of research about Florence Nightingale. So it really broadens your knowledge again.
Well, one of the things that I know about you is I've never actually heard you say no. And what I mean by that is, and take Non-Stop Kids virtual parties as an example, you've been leading from the front with the virtual parties that we've been doing. Like, you've been doing as many as me. I mean, you've been doing a crazy amount. And I know that Liz has been like saying, hey, can you do a cheerleader one? Can you do a hip hop one? And it's always, I'll figure it out. Yeah, why not?
Yeah, I do like a challenge. And like I say, coming kind of from a dance background, it was nice to really kind of go back into that. I did a lot of choreography in university, and it's been nice to revisit that a little bit more. So yeah, I've really enjoyed doing a bit of choreographing, albeit over a camera, but it's been really fun, actually.
Well, here's a question for you, Jess. We've noticed, we've been checking the stats out on these entertainer spotlights. A lot of people watching them are people that are wanting to get into entertainment, or parents of kids that want to get into entertainment. And you know, performing is notoriously a difficult thing to do full time. And you have, you know, made it a successful full-time career for many, many years now. What advice would you give somebody who's wanting to become a full-time performer, or what advice would you give a parent that's got a child that wants to, you know, that's passionate about performing? What would you say, you know, what advice would you give them?
That's a really good question. So I think joining, so when I found my love for acting or performing as such, I kind of joined the kind of a theatre school, which really built up my confidence because I was really quite new to it. And I was like, I know I enjoy it, but I don't know whether I'm actually any good. I might be really rubbish. So I was just like, it's more of a passion thing to begin with.
Yeah.
So going to some kind of theatre school where I did some pantos and some musicals and workshops and things like that really built my confidence to feel like, oh, I could do more of this, or I found the areas that I really liked. Going to university was definitely one of the best decisions I ever made. And then after university, I found networking. You'll know this, Craig. Networking is your like biggest friend, like talking to people and finding out information, or going to events and just chatting and going, hey, I'm kind of into that. Like, how do you go about that? And many people from the industry will love to give you some advice. Like, don't be afraid to ask questions, because there will be so many people that will want to tell you and want to help you. And you never know, they might go, come along to this show and you can come backstage and see how it all works. So just just be brave and ask some questions, I think.
Putting yourself out there and
definitely
letting people know who you are and what you do and that you're keen to learn. And
yeah, definitely. And it just even I've done this before, like I've gone to see some shows that I've really enjoyed, and then I've kind of done a bit of research and contacted the artistic director and said, I really enjoyed that show. I'd love to know some more information or ways in working with your company. And they've sent like workshops along, or he says, hey, we're doing a question and answer thing, like feel free to come and talk and ask some questions, and they'll signpost you in the right direction.
That's great.
Which might lead to other things.
And it is hard work. You know, a lot of people, if it was easy, everybody would be doing it. It is hard work. You got to put yourself out there, but yeah, I totally get it. Well, what's on your bucket list? You know, you've achieved so much. What have you got? What have you got left that you want to achieve that you haven't done yet?
Oh, that's a really good question. Well, so my top ultimate bucket list was to get paid to perform. And I was like, yay, okay, I can make money off performing and acting. Mm-hmm. So that's good. I would really love to do some more international kind of touring. I think that would be really cool. Mm-hmm. To travel around the world and perform. Yeah. Obviously, I think every performer or like actor such would like West End kind of thing. That would be really amazing. But yeah, I think I'm still currently, here's my dog. Here she is. She's a performer as well.
Hello, absolutely.
I think I'm saving at the moment to move out. So I think to earn enough money to sustainably live on my own or afford a mortgage is definitely on my bucket list. Mm-hmm. But obviously as a freelance performer and actress, so it can be hit and miss still. Like, yeah, it's a career, but you still have to kind of apply for jobs every month and go, oh, I'm earning a bit less this month. So it's finding those jobs like the One Day Creative and the Fabularium that kind of, I've been with those companies now, and Non-Stop Kids, of course, that have kept me afloat for how many years. So it's finding those kind of jobs really.
And what do you prefer doing that? Because I know that obviously when you first started, it was all about performing. But now with what you're doing with the Fabularium, you spent a lot more time doing the creative side of things, creating shows. And what do you prefer? Do you prefer performing, or do you prefer creating something? Do you prefer looking at it and going, yes, I created this, and watching somebody else do it? Or have you still got, is it still, you have to be involved in it yourself? Do you know? I've tried so many times to move away from performing, and because I love it so much, I just can't. I'm still putting myself out there now, but so
I think I'm a bit like that too. So luckily with the Fabularium, I still get to perform all of the time really. It's kind of like this devising process where we all kind of devise the show together and then we all kind of perform it. And then we have a kind of an outside director and an outside eye to go, no, that's no good. to do something different with that. But I think the performing bug is still very strong. I imagine maybe I'll get to a point where I'm like, maybe I'm a bit old for this now. But at the moment, I'm still like, yeah, let's go. I want to still perform, and I want to still. But like you say, there's something really proud and really lovely about seeing your work and go, yeah, I did that. But it's also really nice to be in it and go feel the vibe from the show that you've made. So I really like that too.
And here's a question for you. All of the different things that you've done in the Fabularium, because you've produced so many different shows over the time, what's your favorite production that you've been a part of? It doesn't have to be one that you've created yourself, but what's your favorite thing that you've performed in and starred in that you kind of look back at and go, yeah, that was the one?
It's really, really tough. I've got two. So I've got my first one would be the first ever time. So the first time that Gareth and Josh asked me we were like, do you want to be in the show? And I was like, yes, I do. And the first kind of time I performed, the first show that we did as a company was the Town Band of Bremen. And I remember performing that for the first time and going, oh my God, this is amazing. So I'll never forget that moment. But then we've just done a show called The Hare and the Moon, in which I play the hare called Lipa the Arctic Hare, and it's all about a bit about like femininity and girls kind of having that yes I can attitude and going, yeah, girls are really cool too, and they can be adventurous and they can make stuff and they can be the forefront of everything. So I'm really enjoying kind of putting that message out to all the little girls that think, oh, I can't do that, and I'm like, no, you definitely can do that. Like the sky is your limit. And in the story, Lipa creates the moon, and it's just a really nice symbolic message to go, you can do anything you put your mind to. So I really like that one.
That's awesome. That's awesome. Yeah. So I've got one more question. Circling back to Non-Stop Kids, I want to ask you one question about that, or two questions actually. First of all, you have probably at this point we've got over 40 packages now, and I think at one point or another you've done all of them and probably had a big hand in creating them. Is there a particular package in Non-Stop Kids that you prefer doing? I'm finding most entertainers are saying the hassle-free, but I know you've done.
Just say, but I really like. I do like just turning up and like being silly as myself, and just doing the hassle-free and going like, this is me. I'm going to be Jess, and I'm going to be really daft. Like, be daft with me. I really enjoy that. There is something magical about the princess parties and the little girls seeing you in a princess dress. Oh, it gets me every time. So there is something really magical about that too.
Have you seen that princess meme with Batman and the girls? Have you seen that?
No, I don't think so.
There's an amazing thing that's going around Facebook in the moment, and it's a picture that's been taken at a kid's party, and there's like 30 kids, and they're all dressed in princess dresses. And then there's this one little cute little blonde girl sitting in the middle of all of them that's got like a Batman. She's got a princess dress on, but then she's got a Batman mask on, a Batman outfit out on top. And then the thing says at the top, in a world full of princesses, dare to be Batman.
Yeah. There's definitely some princesses out there that come as like Batgirl and things. And I'm like, yes, I love that. I love that. Yeah, but there is something magical about having a real life princess at my birthday party. So that's really lovely.
Well, one last question with Non-Stop Kids as well is what you've been, like you said, 5 years you've been with Non-Stop Kids. You've done more parties than most people. What one piece of advice would you give the parents that are watching this, that are planning the birthday party for their child for the first time, and they want it to go amazing? Because every parent wants their child's party to be amazing. Out of all the parties that you've seen, is there a piece of advice? It doesn't have, obviously, number one piece of advice, book Jess from Non-Stop Kids. But outside of that, is there some sort of piece of advice you can give them to try and make sure that their child's party is a success?
I think maybe, like you say, every parent wants their party to be as best as possible, as good as possible. So, which sometimes means they book too many things to happen at once. So I've turned up and there's been like a sweet stall and a bouncy castle and a face painter and then a juggler and some mascots. And then I turn up and go, oh no, where do I fit into all of this? So I think having too many things can be really distracting for everybody. Although it might come across as really amazing, and it is really amazing. Sometimes it's really good to focus on a couple of those things and not to go all out on everything, because you'll find, especially if you book Non-Stop Kids, a lot of that is sorted for you. You don't have to worry about trying to entertain them every minute of the party, because we do that anyway, and it's good to have like a little break in the middle so they can regain some energy. So I'd say don't worry about booking too many things. Just focus on a couple of really strong entertainment strategies and you'll be good to go.
It's that old saying, isn't it? Less is more.
Yeah. Oh yeah, definitely. But quality is what I would say.
Absolutely.
Don't go booking any other entertainment company. That's what I would say. Go for quality.
Absolutely. Now, I am going to do something with you that I have done with every entertainer, which is I'm going to ask you a series of quick fire questions.
Oh yes, I love this.
Now, yeah, we're actually holding a bit of a leaderboard as to who answers the most questions. Currently, number one is David Burgess from Liverpool.
Oh yes, he's very fast-paced.
He's a Scouser as well, isn't he? He does 10 words to everyone else's one. So that's probably the reason. But you can bring it back to the Midlands. You can, as the head of the Midlands, you can bring it back to the Midlands. So I'm going to ask you a whole bunch of questions. I am going to time you. I'm going to give you 3.5 minutes. And you're going to answer as many questions as you can.
Competition.
Absolutely. Absolutely. So, are you ready, Jess?
Yes!
Your time starts now. If you could buy any type of food right now, what would you buy?
Oh, I really want a Toby Carvery.
Oh, yes.
Yeah.
What colour is your toothbrush?
It's white. It's an electric toothbrush.
Nice. If you could be any type of animal, what would you be and why? Perfect question for somebody in the Fabularium.
That's a good point. I would be I play a wolf quite a lot, which I quite enjoy. So I'd be a wolf because they're stealthy and ferocious, but also look really cool.
Love it. What is, you kind of answered this. What is the one thing that you would put on your bucket list? I think we'll defer to the earlier question. I did kind of ask you about your bucket list. What is your favorite?
I'll go to Australia is on my bucket list. Let's do that. I want to go to Australia.
Who is your favorite superhero and why?
Oh, Wonder Woman. She's a classic. Classic, doing it for the ladies superhero.
Strong female. Who do you admire the most?
My mum.
Oh, your mum's amazing. What is your favorite summer activity?
Oh, going to the beach, swimming in the sea.
Can't beat it. If a movie was made of your life, what genre would it be and who would play you?
A comedy. It would absolutely be a farce. I don't know who would play me. Maybe like somebody like Miranda, like somebody really funny like that.
Love that. I'd watch that. If you could be any flavour ice cream, what flavour ice cream would you be and why?
I would be caramel. One, because it's my favourite. And two, it's really tasty and sweet. That's really silly to say.
I love that. I love that. Are you a morning or a night person?
At the moment, I'm both, but I think a morning person.
Morning. What's your favourite hobby?
Dancing.
Love it. This is going to be a difficult one for you to answer because you're so positive. But what's the one thing that annoys you the most?
When people eat with their mouth open like this.
Oh no. Yeah, I agree. I agree. And on that subject, what is the strangest thing you've ever eaten?
Ooh. Snails, I guess. I've had snails in Paris at some point. That was weird.
Yeah, I've never done snails. Describe yourself in 3 words.
Crazy, silly, lovable. I don't know. That's big.
I love it. If you could trade lives with anyone for a day, who would it be and why?
Ooh, that's a hard question. I guess. That's a difficult question. Oh no, this is where my downfall is. I'd trade lives with oh my goodness me. Somebody like what's her name? Meryl Streep. Somebody really, really famous like that, and to see how all the things that she's been through and what her life is like for her now.
That would be cool. I agree with that. If you could have any one superpower, what would it be?
Ooh. Teleportation.
That'd be so useful.
Yes.
I'm going to a gig. I'm there.
Yeah.
Where would you go if you were invisible? If you could turn invisible, where would you go?
Where would I go? Ooh. Maybe in like a prison. I'd really like to see what's going on in prison. Yeah.
Places you wouldn't normally get to see. I like that. That's really cool. What's your favorite Halloween costume?
Ooh, I like a corpse bride.
Yeah, Yeah, I agree with that.
You've worded
What TV sitcom family would you be a member of?
I really love Friends. Does that count? They're not a family, but
It definitely counts. Absolutely.
I'd be in Friends.
Absolutely counts. And then the final question, what is your favorite movie quote?
Oh, where's my favorite music quote? It's probably something really cheesy like Grease, like "Tell me about it, stud." It's probably something cheesy like that.
That's an amazing one. I'd give you that. Absolutely. Perfect. That was really good. I don't know if you won. Luke will find out and he will publish it. But
definitely not. It's like, who was I supposed to be? It threw me off. I was like, I don't know who I'd be for a day. Oh my gosh.
We're entertaining, so it doesn't really matter. But now this is where I find out if Jess is just talented at everything she does or not, because we're going to see if you're any good at impressions. And like I said to you before we started the cameras rolling, most entertainers in Non-Stop Kids are not very good at impressions, I've discovered.
Yeah, I think I'm going to join that group, but I'll give it a good go.
Okay, I want to see an impression. It can be anybody you want to. Who are you going to do?
Oh God, I get to decide.
Oh yeah.
Oh, that's hard. I'm trying to think of one that I can actually do.
Cy Pedal cheated because he was, when I interviewed Cy, he had a whole bunch of guitars behind him like he normally does, and he's like, okay, I'm going to do Aerosmith, and then he just started playing the guitar, so he cheated.
Cheating, isn't it? Yeah. Let's try Mickey Mouse.
Oh,
Has anybody done that yet?
No, and I'd love to see Jess Rowe do Mickey Mouse.
I mean, I could just hear his voice in my head, but I don't think I've ever done this out loud.
I'm ready.
Can't stop laughing. Hello, kids.
That was great. That was great. I even love that you got the American twang to it as well. It wasn't just you doing a squeaky voice. It was actually American. It was brilliant.
A Black Country Mickey Mouse, though. That would be really funny.
I love that.
So, yeah, I guess that, I don't know what else to say.
That was great. That was great. I'll take that.
Yeah.
Now, I'm going to wrap things up, but before I do, I've got one last thing that I always ask every entertainer. Why don't you finish off by giving everybody one piece of advice? It doesn't have to be about entertaining or performing. What one life piece of advice based on all of your experience can you give everybody to wrap this whole interview up?
Look after yourself. At the moment, we're looking after lots of people all the time, and there's so many people around you that you want to care for and love and things. But don't forget about loving yourself and taking care of yourself, because you're number one. And if you're not in your tip-top condition, then how are you going to flourish? I just did a nice self-care kind of video for another company, and it was all about how do we bloom. And at the moment, we're all kind of stuck in and feeling a bit lost. But I think if we identify it as kind of like a growing period, so let's use this time to allow us to grow, and then when we're allowed out and we're allowed to bloom again, then we'll be the best we possibly can. But yeah, be kind to ourselves, be kind to yourself.
I love that. That's great advice. Now, where can we find out more about Jess Rowe? Give us all the social media and website links that you want, anything that you want to promote. Let us know, and we'll get Luke to put them down in the comments as well, and get him to put them in the description.
Yeah. So if you want to follow kind of my freelance kind of life, I guess, as me, you can follow me on Twitter at Jess Rowe with one S. If you want to follow Fabularium stuff, you can find us at www.fabularium.co.uk or at the Fabularium across Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook. Awesome.
Are you on TikTok?
Me? No. I mean, I've got it and I use it all the time, and it's a really bad habit, actually. It's an obsession. It's really bad. I don't have TikTok personally.
You should do TikToks.
I should do. It's funny.
You know, I've got like 50,000 followers on TikTok.
Do you? I did do a cheeky one that I haven't posted. My mum was talking in this dining room here about decorating, and I've got a tuber just lying around, as you do in your garage, and I was like, I'm gonna scare her. So I filmed it, and I walked in and went like this, and she scared. She was scared, and she laughed and almost wet herself, I think. So that was pretty funny. But that's probably the only TikTok worthy video, I think, at the moment.
That's your next thing on your bucket list.
Maybe we
should be a TikTok influencer. Absolutely. Awesome. Well, Jess, it has been a real pleasure having you on here. Thank you so much. Make sure you follow Jess on Twitter and Facebook and the Fabularium. And if you want to know more about her, you can go on to nonstopkids.co.uk. And don't forget to subscribe to YouTube. Follow us on Facebook. We've got videos up every single day. Jess is in a lot of them, so you can watch Jess.
You can listen to me ramble about stuff, or read some stories, things like that.
Absolutely. Do some dancing, all that sort of stuff. And yeah, thanks very much for joining us, Jess. You were absolutely amazing, as I knew you would be.
Thank you very much.
Thanks a lot. Bye, Jess.
Bye. Say bye, guys.